Welcome back to the Deep Digger Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other hosts are right over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Thanks for hopping in. Today we are talking Thursday night football. The Titans took on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. But before we get into that, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to drop some comments below and make sure you subscribe. It really does help us out, and be sure to tell a friend.
Yeah, the Steelers actually pulled out this win, 20-16 against the Titans. Kenny Pickett, 160 yards and a touchdown. Will Levis, 262 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. Derrick Henry did his thing, 75 yards and a tug. While it looks like the Steelers ran for a lot. Jalen Warren, 88 yards, and Najee Harris, 69 yards for a touchdown. So, how are we feeling about this game? I know we wanted to talk quarterbacks. So, do you want to start with Levis? Do you want to start with Pickett?
Yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and just hop into it. It's kind of night and day what's going on here with the Steelers and the Titans. Titans fans, I'd walk away from this as, hey, Will Levis, it's his second start. It's an early, again, Thursday night game coming off of a Sunday game. And you played one of the best defenses in the league and you put up numbers. Yeah, you didn't throw the touchdown passes, but realistically, you walk away from that feeling really, really good about it. And so I would say that Will Levis, for me, again, the arrow is trending up. I'm a big Will Levis guy. I liked him. I talked myself into him as we were evaluating prospects during the draft time. I liked that he was like, yeah, I'm a little eccentric. I just want to lift and fucking go out there and throw dimes. That's it.
Drink coffee with mayo in it.
Eat whole bananas, just different shit like that. I like that. And so I would feel good as a Titans fan what you're doing. The only thing he's missing is weapons. Yeah, you have Derrick Henry there. You have Tajay Spears, and DeAndre Hopkins, who I think he's, even though he is still a dynamic receiver, he's slow. He's slow. Joey Porter was eating him up on some of these routes. It just wasn't there where it was last week. And also, again, Thursday night gets weird. But other than DeAndre Hopkins, there's not a whole lot of weapons for Will Levis. Traylon Burks, let's hope he recovers and gets well soon. But he is not A.J. Brown, which is what basically they traded for. They tried to do the Justin Jefferson. We're going to go ahead and trade Stephon Diggs and draft this guy, and he's going to be lights out. It's not. Yeah. It's not the same.
Kyle Phillips, their leading receiver with 4 catches, 68 yards. Never heard that name in my life.
Couldn't pick him out of the lineup. So you've got to feel pretty good about him putting up this type of yardage with no weapons while going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, so, I mean, I feel pretty good about it. What about you? What are your thoughts on Will Levis?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, both these guys in the draft wasn't high on. I didn't like either of them. And I'll admit, Will Levis proved me a little wrong. And I don't think it was from a talent standpoint on Levis. It was the decision making and can he do it consistently over the middle? And I think I've seen a good amount of plays from him now, making smart decisions, making good plays, and kind of making something out of nothing, which is a great skill for a quarterback to have. So yeah, he looks calm and cool under pressure. He looks like he looks like a starting quarterback in the NFL. As to where Kenny Pickett, I question, does he have talent? I just didn't see it. Like the eyeball test, I don't know. He had small hands, little baby hands, and now we see he just isn't very explosive on offense. It's kind of like when we were watching Jimmy G week in, week out. And I was just like, I'm so fucking tired of watching Jimmy throw for 120 yards every week and us struggle to win. And that's kind of the thing with Pickett. Like, whether it's Canada or whether it's Pickett himself, he's not throwing for 200 yards. Like, this guy is consistently throwing underneath. You just bet the under on him because he's not hitting it.
Yeah, and I think you can see the drastic difference in just natural ability and natural talent. Whereas with Will Levis, one thing that does like obvious is his arm strength. He's able to make something out of nothing because he can fit it in such tight windows. He can throw receivers open. He can make sure that he actually like, hey, if my guy doesn't get it, nobody's going to get it. Whereas with Kenny Pickett, it's a lot of anticipation. It's a lot of, hey, if it's not schemed up right, it doesn't really look good. I'm just going to check it down. And one thing that did surprise me with Will Levis is his poise in the pocket. Whereas Kenny Pickett does seem like a little bit more frantic. Like I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna get outside of this pocket, which is cool. But like with Baker Mayfield, Baker found out really quick that his athleticism didn't translate a lot like a Johnny Manziel, where it just doesn't. I'm running all over SEC guys, and these NFL dudes are just the cream of the crop. It's not going to work here.
Yeah, and before I get sorry, they're trying to choke me out here. Before I get killed in the comments about my Jimmy G and Kenny Pickett comparison, Kenny Pickett has thrown for 200 yards in 5 of these games this year, but his highest is 235. He's only thrown for 2 touchdowns once, and 6 touchdowns in the season, 4 interceptions. So, like, what I'm saying generally is this guy doesn't light it up. Like, this
He's not
guy
good. He's not a good quarterback. He's not. Like, I would much rather, like, I don't want to see him anymore. And the only reason they're winning is because of their defense. Like, the defense keeps them in games. They need turnovers. They need special teams plays to really make sure that they're just within striking distance. And then Kenny Pickett does enough to get them over the hump, which, again, is cool. But at the end of the day, with all of the weapons that you have on offense, with everything that you've invested, with George Pickens, with Deontay Johnson, with Najee, with Jalen Warren, with all of these guys, Pat Fryermuth, with all of these draft picks that you have on this offense, you should be lighting it up. Like if you gave Will Levis this team, Will Levis would be scoring much more points than Kenny Pickett. And that's like what you got to feel. You can't be trapped because, hey, he's a Pittsburgh guy through and through. We drafted him semi-high. Like we need this. No, I think you got to move on from this guy.
And my main complaint with him is throw it to Pickens more.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, we should be throwing to Pickens 20 times a game. Like, this guy's amazing. And there's just games where it doesn't feel like they game plan around Pickens. It feels like Pickens is just a receiver on the team. When it's like, this guy needs to be your Justin Jefferson. Like, even Jordan Addison is getting a game plan around where they're force feeding the ball. Like, sometimes, like the Devontae Adams situation, like sometimes your guy's going to be covered, just throw it to him because he's that good. Like, you need to just force feed him the ball sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, the receivers are suffering because of Kenny Pickett's poor play. Deontay Johnson just had his first touchdown, and I think he had one of the longest streaks of consecutive pass attempts and then pass actually caught without a touchdown. I want to say it was like over 600 days or something like that. Fucking crazy. But George Pickens, after this game, went to Instagram pissed and was like, basically he commented on one of his little posts. It said, "Free me." He unfollowed everybody on the Steelers organization. He took down his Steelers profile pic. He's pissed. And understandably, like, you just aren't making him a priority. I'd be pissed too, especially like the way this offense is. Like, we have the opportunity, and yeah, you can blame Matt Canada all you want, but the quarterback's just not good enough.
Yeah, man. And we already know Pickens isn't is it Jerry Jeudy? He's not a Jag.
Yeah.
He's not just another guy. Like, this guy is really good. I thought coming into this year he was going to break out as like one of the top 7 receivers in the league, like top 10 at least. And I mean, they're just not giving him the ball enough for him to do that.
And don't get me wrong, like, again, the Steelers are winning games. They're going to make the playoffs. I expect them maybe to win one playoff game, but they don't have a real chance at winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't think anyone believes that.
How are they winning these games?
Yeah,
We're like in an alternate universe where they're somehow winning these games.
I actually did see a thing. They have the most one-score games of this season, and if those one-score games had been reversed, they'd actually have 0 wins. So, I mean, yeah, in an alternate universe where one thing, and it's with the NFL, it's always just a small thing here, a small thing there that really makes a difference. And Coach Tomlin does get the most out of his guys, so you can give him credit. They are a winning culture. But at the end of the day, you shouldn't be in these one-score games with this defense and with the offensive weapons that you have.
Well, you guys let us know in the comments. What do you think about Levis? What do you think about Pickett? Steelers going to win a playoff game? We highly doubt it. All right.
All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
later.